Hey everybody, welcome to the VIP Club for May. What great time of year. You know, it's so nice that it's a bit sunny. I know that with my boy in baseball, it's nice to actually be wearing shorts and a t-shirt as opposed to my ski jacket and having a propane fireplace with me. So that's been great. Hope everyone's doing well. Let's get a real update here on what I see going on. And before we dive into the question we have of the month for you guys for the VIP Club. So things in the real estate market have picked up. I think it's really simple. It actually, as much as it's busier, it feels balanced to me. And I'll tell you why it feels balanced. Great properties are really good properties are actually going to multiple offers again. And and going for like over the asking price and stuff those kind of terms, over ask, multiple offers, those terms you hear when the market, when people think the market's crazy. But the reality is on the flip side, if the property is maybe needs a lot of work in maybe a tough location, they're taking a little longer to sell. So when the market's over the top crazy, every property, regardless of quality, location, always sells, and it's because it's crazy. But this feels balanced to me, and I'll tell you why. Because if you have a great product, it should drive more interest and get multiple offers. And if your product needs some work and it's a little bit on the other side, it should probably wait. So on that kind of side, I think things are getting balanced right now. In certain areas, the areas that went really high up, like not, like for example, specifically a couple areas here in southern British Columbia, areas like Langley and Surrey, when the market really picked up 2 years ago, they went up, but not crazy. They went up a little bit. Whereas when you get farther east, like Chilliwack, that market went up dramatically. And so what you're seeing is like Langley and Surrey, property values haven't dropped a lot. They've been fairly steady for the last little bit, whereas Chilliwack went up a whole lot, has come down, and it's kind of leveled out now. So I feel we're in a level place, but the key is if anybody that you know is in the market, it's really important to be prepared, right? What are you getting yourself into? If you're going into looking at properties that are on that they're really in demand, you need to have your ducks in a row because you're going to be in a little bit of a dogfight. Whereas if you're looking at properties on the other side, maybe you want to buy something that's a bit maybe run down and fix it up, you probably have a little bit more wiggle room. So that's kind of the current state. As far as what we're seeing interest rate wise, I mean, I get the same question all the time. If I had a crystal ball, what would I do? What am I thinking? And this is a real tough one for me because the reality is no one has a crystal ball. But what I can tell you, I think is maybe appropriate here is what do I feel? After doing this for as long as I have, what does my gut say? And what my gut says is that we're really sitting at the top here. A lot of people have slowed down their spending, and that was actually the desired goal. So I think, we might, if we see an increase, it'll be one more and it'll be a baby one. But otherwise, I wouldn't be totally surprised if we're just going to hover here for a bit. It's being May now. Maybe I could maybe see, depending on how things go, maybe September being our first rate decrease. But for now, I think this is where we're going to sit for the most part. Even if we see some decreases towards the end of the year, it's not going to be dramatic. So I think we're probably going to be fairly steady here, up a little tiny bit or down a little tiny bit for the rest of 2023. And then 2024, I think we'll probably see us come back to a little bit of a more normal market. It's interesting because every time the rates do something, we decide that's normal, right? Whether they were down at 2.5%. But I think that now that I've done this for long enough, I really get the sense that in a generalized sense point of view, anything under 3% is a great rate. Anything from 3 to 4.5 pretty average, and anything 4.5 is probably a bit around the higher side. At least that's what I feel in the last 20 years. So right now we're a bit on the higher side, and I think we'll slide down to, if anything, we'll slide down to normal. So that's what I think is going to happen with rates and what's happening right now in the market. If you obviously have any questions about rates, let us know. So let's dive into the question of the month. And the question of the month that we have now is, what are your financial goals, not for 2023, but the next 5 years? I think it's really great to have an eye on the prize. And so some things that I know that I have as personal goals is I'd love to start looking at some more property. And I'm not just saying that because I'm a mortgage broker. And I think of two types of property for myself, right? I think when you're buying a quote unquote second property, you can buy a property for investment, right? So you put a tenant in there, it makes money, or you can buy it for a second home, like a vacation property. And I don't think I'm personally looking at growing a massive portfolio, but in the next 5 years, I think my financial goals will definitely include acquiring a couple properties, maybe one of each. I think it would probably be like some sort of investment property where we can generate some revenue, give us some long-term, and it would be, I'm not a flipping kind of guy, it would be something to hold on to. And maybe even just start building a very small rental portfolio as a legacy plan for my family. I think that's going to be a really cool thing in the next 5 years. And then maybe as a family, pick up we already have a property in the US, but grab another one and grab another vacation property, because it's just something great about, regardless of whether you do something really extravagant or you do something like just a cabin or something like that that's maybe not as expensive, but there's just something to be said about having that property and not having to think a lot about taking a couple of days off, right? When you own the property, you can just if it's in driving distance, you can just drive up to it and relax. So I love to look at something else like that, but those are probably my big ones, is just to acquire a bit more real estate in my portfolio for long-term wealth. But yeah, I'd love to hear what your guys' plans are for the next 5 years. And if you don't have any financial goals, maybe we should have a chit chat, just a casual conversation, and we can maybe help develop some of those for you. So hope everyone's doing well. Look forward to talking to you soon. Happy May.